sharing a presentation about supply chain organization. Okay. Supply chain management is a system of organizations, people, activities, information, and resources involved in moving a product from supplier to customer. The cycle starts from raw materials that are converted into finished projects, thus ending up with the customer. Supply chain management is the flow of goods and services that involves the movement and storage of raw materials, work in progress inventory, and finished goods. Supply chain management heavily relies on industrial engineering, systems engineering, operations management, logistics, procurement, and information technologies. Lastly, supply chain management focuses on core competencies and becomes more flexible. And once it becomes more flexible, they reduce their ownership of raw material sources and distribution channels. So this chart here I found on the internet, and you can see that the overall satisfaction of supply chain management is around 80%, so that's definitely more than the majority. And you can see that there was a slight increase from 1992, the middle of whatever year that would be, and it has slightly decreased, but overall the total usage is still almost 50 or 45%, which is really good. So hopefully we'll see an increase in the sort of thing. Next is supply chain resilience. Supply chain resilience is regarded as the next phase in evolution of traditional customer-centric structures that enable people to work anytime, anywhere. It aligns its strategy and operations to adapt to risks that affect its capacities. There are 4 levels of supply chain resilience. The first being reactive supply chain management. Second is internal supply chain integration with planned buffers. Third is the collaboration across extended supply chain networks. And lastly, fourth, we have dynamic supply chain adaptation and flexibility. Like most things in this world, there are regulations on supply chain management. Security has become more important in recent years because you don't want someone to steal your data of your company, and it's very confidential company graphs and datas. And it also is subject to global and local regulations. Next, I'm going to talk about 3 different types, 3 SCM companies or tools. The first is Apache Viz, which is an open source enterprise resource planning system. It includes business processes like accounting, human resources, and project management. There are 3 different layers of Apache Biz. The first one is the presentation layer, which is like the control room and seeing how the different components work and the framework of that. Second is business, which shows all the data and graphs of whatever you're using. If you're using if the general ledger is in this, that's where that would be. And lastly is the data layer, which is responsible for database access and storage of the data you have. Next is OpenBoxes, which is a free stacking window manager. It has many features where the user can control applications or which displays various dynamic information. So it's kind of new, not that much information about it, but it's still there. And lastly is Odoo. Odoo is an enterprise management application with features like billing, accounting, manufacturing, purchasing, warehouse, and project management. So a lot of different things you can use and tools that companies can use to smoothly run their business and get all their goods and make their money and stuff like that. For those of us that are interested, there is a supply chain certification. You can get it through the Association of Operations Management. Having a certification can help you understand more about SCM if you have a knack for it or you think you're interested in it. And it also helps you stand out to employers. So it kind of shows like you would take this extra step, and also will be probably really helpful for you in your future career. And so the last things that I want to talk about is like the 10 trends, the 10 future trends of supply chain. So the first trend is service chains will become more important than product chains. That means that customers are demanding more from the pre and post sale service for the goods they buy. Second, we have companies will need to fully report corporate externalities, which means companies will need to do a much better job of disclosing the end-to-end impacts of their supply chains. Third, supply chain must be designated to serve the basis of pyramid. So supply chain must go. This thinks that supply chain must go through a total utilitarian design philosophy in order to deliver a sustainable bottom line performance. So there must be a way in which things flow, and I guess they think a pyramid is the best thing for it. Fourth is knowledge. Knowledge work and workers will become global in nature. There's a very high demand for this multi-language support. So hopefully across the globe, more and more people will have supply chain knowledge and that sort of thing. Fifth, supply chain management will have a standard certification process similar to that of CPAs. So there probably will be a standardized test that you will have to get through to get certified, and it'll probably cost money like the CPAs, but it will be a better thing for you to have for your future careers. Six, product clock speeds will determine the number and nature of supply chain. This means fast clock speed is becoming more normal, so companies are going to have to keep up and have their clock speeds very, very fast. Seventh is micro-segmentation will be a key to success. Micro-segments is the exact part of the general buying category that triggers the purchasing decision. Going forward, companies are going to need to know their micro-segments to best fit what they will have stocked and sell, and to learn what sells the best. Eighth, technology to support supply chain management will primarily be on tap, which means it's getting more mainstream. There'll still be an increased demand, and it'll be probably everywhere that we could find SCM tools and stuff like that. Ninth, our leaders will leverage social media on a closed loop feedback process. And 10th, artificial intelligence will be embedded in mainstream supply chain activities, so don't get freaked out if there's probably going to be more and more advances and stuff like that. So in conclusion, I think supply chain management is very future forward thinking, and I really like how that it will help us in the future and make everything more streamlined and stuff that I think will be beneficial to companies and stuff like that. And it seems like very useful for business people, and hopefully maybe they will make more stuff for those who aren't in business. So thank you so much for watching my presentation.